Houston, Texas's biggest master plan community. All right, I'm way too close to the camera. Jackson Wilkie here with the original Living in Houston, Texas team. Today, yes, we're talking about the largest master plan community in Harris County. And it's actually the second largest master plan community in all of Houston. But it's also an area that none of you guys ever hear about, and I didn't either. In fact, I moved to a spot, and once I discovered this area, I sold that house and I moved up here as fast as I could. Today, we're talking about Kingwood, Texas. I've done a couple videos. I've even been on the e-bike with my kids and took them to school just to show you the community. I've showed you the shops, but today we're doing something completely different. JoJo got us exclusive access into two completely different styles of homes in Kingwood. You will be shocked at the amount of house that you can get here. Now, there's not any new construction in this area except for the north end. Some of these houses might need a little bit of work, but the price that you pay for so much land and so much house, you'll be shocked. But the one elephant in the room that I need to address is in 2017 when Harvey hit. There were many houses, convenience stores, grocery stores, and even high schools that got flooded. So the big question is it gonna flood there? Is it terrible? Is it always flooding? We will talk about that at the end of the video. In fact, we will go on location, show you the actual river, and my main man JoJo is gonna bring up the actual flood zones so that you will know. You're not gonna wanna miss it. But first, we're gonna show you what $615,000 can get you in Kingwood. It's gonna blow your mind. Let's go.
Here we are in one of the villages called Foster's Mill. It's right here in the heart, in the middle of Kingwood, right behind the HEB area, about a block or two over.
Got all the fishing lakes.
Got all the fishing lakes.
You're gonna notice how many people are out riding around today, walking.
This section out here, you have a variety of price points.
Not only that, but all the houses look different too. It's not like new construction neighborhoods where everything looks a lot.
Yeah.
It's similar. You're gonna have a lot of character in these houses. These are big, 3,000 plus square foot homes.
All these homes right here, they back up to the golf course.
Yep, Deerwood.
Have you played on that golf course before?
I haven't got, not that one. That's above my membership. I get the 4 courses at the Kingwood, but
4 courses
Deerwood
is a lot.
is the extensive one. You got to pay like buco bucks and
a wait list, huh?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't really care. I get to go eat there. I like the other 4 courses at Kingwood. Ooh, so this one's right on the course.
This is right on the course, right here. And guess what, Jackson?
What?
This is where we're going, buddy.
Woo! Big home here, JoJo. So before we head into this house here, you're gonna notice just the scenery, the feeling of this neighborhood, right? So obviously this one's right on the golf course there. We'll be a little quiet so that we don't disturb him. But you do have the Deerwood Golf Course here in Foster's Mill neighborhood. Let's see if the old boy can rip one. Ooh! Looks like he pulled that one straight left. You're gonna have a lot of these lakes. So Lake Houston and the San Jacinto River, all of that is just on the backside of the neighborhood here within minutes. So like for my house alone, I can take the motorcycles or whatever, the bikes, and within 5 minutes, we can be on parts of the lake. So you're gonna have a lot of these bayous and these lakes all throughout. You've got the golf courses, but just check out the trees here, right? Huge oaks, a lot of pine trees. Obviously these houses are right on the golf course, but the homes themselves, they've just got bigger backyards. You're gonna have a lot more space here in Kingwood, and you have these bigger, massive homes, and you're not gonna have to, there you go, you're gonna see a ton of golf carts cruising around, even out there throughout the main roads and stuff, taking kiddos to school. But here compared to the Woodlands, you're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars on these homes and not having to deal with so many people with the shopping. So if you have to have all the shopping or you work up that way, great. But even my neighbor, he chose to live in Kingwood and drive up to the Woodlands for work for Exxon, and he goes early in the mornings just to beat all the traffic. So come on, Joe, you gonna work today?
Can you hear me over there on the camera? I was trying to pull the instruction on it there.
You gotta tell us a little bit about this, the neighborhood, the house. What are we gonna see here?
Yeah, so this particular house out here, Jackson, is a corner lot.
Big lot too.
It's a big lot. And so this one I wanted to double check on it because a corner lot usually is bigger, and yeah, it's right almost at a half-acre lot.
Oof.
5-bedroom home.
Tons of space.
Yeah.
We'll tell you the price when we get inside. Now again, these are gonna be homes. When was this one built? Before 2000?
You were saying, when was this one built? This one was built in the good old 80s, my friend.
80s.
1985 to be exact.
Boom. Uh-oh, they're Aggie fans.
Oh man, you got the Aggie key. Come on in.
Look at how grand.
So on this particular home, I usually say come on in and make yourself at home, but I do have to offset an alarm system. Okay, so this is a typical Kingwood home here, right under 700,000, 5 bedrooms, almost nearly 4,000 square feet. One of the things you'll notice in here, Jackson, it's not like the newer homes that it's just completely open. There's a lot of character in this home. There was a lot of thought being built out to it when they built these particular homes in the 1980s. It sits on a half-acre lot, and as you noticed, even some of the other homes, again, they sit far back. They're not right next door to each other all the time. But you see all the detail even in the crown, the trim out, everything else. And you got great backyard space. You have a pool, and then you have the nice serene golf course in the background.
Well, let's go check out the pool, Joe. So this is the thing, having these bigger lots over a half acre, just like mine, is, in fact, we've got more space than this, but you have, you know, the pool here. And what I like to do personally with the kiddos is I came in and I took actually a dumpster, put it in the driveway, and all of this rock and all these bushes and stuff, I just cleared it all out. And then I went and got pallets of sod for like 200 bucks and sodded my whole backyard. And now we got soccer goals back there and all that. So coming and finding these homes, you know, in an area like Kingwood, you're gonna find a lot of these with pools already. Now we went into that little circle driveway, that's where people come in the front, but if you look here, you're gonna have a bigger, not only driveway, wide driveway, you can put the basketball court or whatever, but 3-car garage there. So hey, looks like you got a little spiral up to the master, up to the
that's super
patio
cool
there.
And typically in a lot of these homes that were built, the pools aren't recent, so you get a lot bigger footprint in the pool, and then also it's deeper, which you don't get in the pools, you know, that they're building in today's market. Okay, so let's go over here to the primary room. And as we go over to the primary room, to the left, you have a massive study.
Got the big office there.
You got the big office, you still have the formal dining in the background. And come on in here to the owner's retreat. Why do I call it a retreat? Because it overlooks the pool. I love the water, the ambiance there, it's just so nice.
This is spacious too. This thing is massive. We can play football in here, JoJo.
And even for the 80s, Jackson,
yep.
Look, you still have detail in the ceiling that they're doing in today's market.
Yeah, and I think what we see
homes.
commonly is people come in, they're gonna replace fans, you know, just modernize that kind of stuff, and maybe, you know, a new all white paint, white on white, something like that.
Yeah, just wall colors. That's what I really love about vacant homes, is just that you have the opportunity to call in painters and they can just take care of it all at once before moving in.
Yep. So it looks like you got a big bathroom here. Ooh.
Yeah, this is really nice. You get the soaker tub, the double sinks, beautiful walk-in shower, you know, 3/4 inch seamless glass.
Got a couple different closets here.
You have double closets. Also, I wanted to note and point out, when we first walked in the home, you still get awesome soaring ceilings as you walk into the entry of the door.
That's got to be 30 feet in the air there.
It's got to be at least 30 feet. And for all you engineers out there, it's just an approximate height. We can put a ruler to it if you want to tour it.
Look at this. You got a big space though up here.
Yeah, it's nice. It's real open. What I like about it, Jackson, is you get to see the back, the golf course. If I turn around this way to the entry, you can see out front, and then there's windows in every bedroom.
Yep.
And they're spread out, if you notice that. It's like bedroom, 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 bedroom. You know, they're all not right next to each other.
Yeah, and they're probably going to share. I mean, this is huge. This is massive. That's one of the challenges with some of the newer homes today, is that you don't get a room of this size. Yep. With this kind of character, you know, they have a lot.
Yeah, and this kind of character.
You'll notice even on the roofs and stuff, they've just got so many different pitches and peaks. So a lot of Jack and Jill bathrooms, really, really oversized bedrooms. So I know when we bought our house, and the majority of the clients, they're just loving Kingwood. I think you have so much opportunity here. You know, this is a house that obviously someone probably lived in since it was built, you know, in the 80s. So you get to come in. Not only was the kitchen and the master already basically remodeled, but you can come up here with fresh carpet. And then these are built-in cabinets that you can pull out, and you can do either new custom ones or get some from Home Depot or Costco that are like more updated, and quickly, you know, you can really update these houses and get the equity built out. So, you know, starting in the 600,000s, getting these massive estate homes, you know, with a half-acre lot, there's just so much opportunity for you to, you know, make them the way you want. So,
and not only that, we forgot to mention one thing too, Jackson, which is one of the great things in these older homes: tax rate.
Yep.
2.49%.
Yep. So you're going to get a lot lower tax rate.
Here's another one right down the street too that's for sale, Jackson.
Yeah.
And again, on the golf course, beautiful home, great curb appeal. We have a client who moved from out of state right over here on the next street over. They absolutely love it. They ended up getting a house that has a pool. Shout out to you guys, you know who you are. Even this, within this past 4 weeks, 6 weeks, we've had several clients move out here to the Kingwood area.
Yep.
Really, that felt home to them. So everybody has a different place. Not saying this is for somebody that's looking in Katy or anything. everywhere's different. The uniqueness about Kingwood, again, it's in the livable forest. I haven't seen anything else like it other than being in the woodlands, but it's half the size of the woodlands, just a different vibe, and it's just a great community to live and raise a family in, you know?
Yep. So what we're doing is we're pulling into Deerwood right now. This is one of the golf courses, if you've ever seen the movie Tin Cup, where he tries to send it over the water. You guys know that one. And he hits it into the water about 15 times. This is the actual course where it was filmed. So with your Kingwood golf membership at the actual Kingwood Country Club, this is an additional one, so you would have to pay extra to get here, but you can come here and eat. So my house is just through the trees over here. We actually take our e-bikes here. We come here a lot and just eat. Lake Houston is just beyond those trees right there. They got incredible top-notch food, cocktails, really cool events right here on the lawn. And so that's the other aspect about Kingwood that's really cool, is that you have these community country clubs and restaurants and stuff all, you know, spread throughout that you can go to. And then of course you have the Greenbelt trail systems right here that you can get in and out of them if you just want to walk, ride your bike. But this is a really fun, you know, area, golf course, and then the main one's just right down the road. Now living here, going to the schools, meeting so many people, because that's what you do here in Kingwood, it's such a tight community, you start to notice that a lot of these houses looked like that, and then you go to them now and they are completely remodeled, gaining hundreds of thousands of equity just like that. So there is a lot of opportunity with these older homes that, I'm telling you, some of these people were in these houses from the origination of the house. So you can go in there, put your touch, and really build that equity. But Jojo, why don't you hop on the actual MLS and let's run them through kind of what the price points are. And are there actually big, decent homes here for $300,000?
So as you can see, I just wanted you to get some context on where those prices are. The middle ground properties, I mean, you see there's plenty in the 300s, 400s, 500s. There's just a lot of properties in different price points that people look at. One of the most popular properties that we see over and over again, it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath minimum, 2,500, 2,700 plus square feet. Seems to fit a lot of people's criteria.
Now here in a little bit, we're gonna go tour a house that's in the $300,000 price range. That's almost 3,000 square foot. And we're actually gonna hear from Joe how difficult it is or how easy he makes it to get into these homes. So you're not gonna wanna miss it. Plus, yes, we will discuss the flood zones. But right now, what I wanna do is go on location as a news reporter to one of the schools and just show you why everybody's moving here. So let's go check out Kingwood High. Here we are on location. Thank goodness for some clouds today, by the way. It's been a hot one, so it feels really good. The one thing that we want to talk about here is a lot of these newer construction neighborhoods that we go into, these master plan communities, they either have new schools or new schools coming. So it's really cool to see. Now, when you come into some of these areas, and even like the Woodlands, right? This was developed in the late 70s and really brought up to speed in the 80s and 90s. So the schools, you would think, you know, may suffer from that. But what they have done, in fact, I just got the new Humboldt ISD newspaper, is they are completely remodeling every school with either new gyms, and like you see here with the high school, they've got an all new gym, new entrance. So here in the next year or so, this Kingwood High School is gonna look brand spanking new. Now, this is Humboldt ISD. You guys are looking online and sometimes you pigeonhole yourself down to an actual ISD that you have to be into. There are parts of ISDs that you don't want to be a part of, and there's part of that exact same ISD that might have one of the best schools in Houston. That's what you have to understand. We're not allowed to steer in any way. You can look on redfin.com or niche.com at these school rankings, but this high school right here is one of the highest ranked schools. Then if you go to actually my kids' elementary school at Willow Creek down there at the back end of Kingwood, it's the highest ranked school in all of Humboldt ISD. It was not the reason we moved there. I didn't even know that going into it. It was just, we needed to live in Kingwood. We loved the family atmosphere. We loved the trees. There is so much going on here. It is so strong with community, but to see what they're doing with a lot of these schools and upgrading them. So when my kiddos are going, they're gonna have brand new gyms. We're big sports junkies, and they are pouring a lot of effort. Now, one of the things that they're doing here, and I don't wanna go too close to the school, but they actually, because this area did flood, which again, we're gonna talk about at the end, we're gonna go to the spot at the bridge there where the river goes through, but they actually put up barriers. So they say even the storm that happened in '94, that flood is within a 1 out of every 50-year occurrence, but they have actually put in barricades. So So if a flood or anything were to happen, these gates pop up out of the ground to protect the school, which is pretty cool. So it's not something we're gonna live in fear. You just, hey, it could happen, but at least they're putting in protocols. But these schools, which is just massive, giant high school, is getting bigger, is getting more up to date. And Kingwood Park, which is just down the road itself, same thing. So a lot of renovations, and this is just a look. And right now it's a construction zone. These poor seniors, I've got a niece, she's in high school here right now, and it's kind of a mess getting in and out, but this is gonna, you know, eventually be all good to go, and we'll have nice, shiny new things here at the school. We're actually gonna show you Kingwood's newest school here in a little bit, but one of the shocking things was when I signed up my daughter, she was 7 at the time, for a soccer league, and every parent around here is like, yeah, you just sign up for that soccer league, it's the best one. And we roll into this park, and I'm like, how have I lived here for 6 months and never seen this? It's one of the sneaky hidden gems of the United States. So we're gonna go check out River Grove Park. All right, so here we are at the River Grove Park. Look at that, you get the Frisbee golf down there. Now, I was told by some serious golfers that that's the best Frisbee golf course in all of Texas, but you got the path along here, and that actually goes out to the, there's a golfer right there with his golf cart. There you go.
Man, you gotta have some skills out there to do that in the trees.
Six-seater golf cart for Frisbee golf. But this is River Grove Park. I didn't even know this place existed until my daughter, who was a first grader at the time, played soccer, and all the soccer fields are here. But there's one shocking thing about this area, and being a Kingwood resident gives you the only perks for it. So I'll show you that here in a second. Now I'm fixing to get out this truck here, JoJo, but you don't have something on the back of your car. We're gonna go to jail.
Look at my boy over there. Fishing.
Yeah, I know, everybody comes here fishing, but you might see that Kingwood sticker on the back of the trucks.
Well,
you have to have that.
3, 4 of right. 4 out of the 5.
So living here in Kingwood, you have a green case sticker like all of these have, and that allows you to come to this private boat launch here. So Kingwood residents, you have your own boat launch. This is one of 2 of them. There's actually one on the back side of the neighborhood, but this is gonna be your nicest one and most used. Now you can see the fields through here. There's probably, I would say, over 12 to 15 soccer fields out here. So a lot of practices are gonna be held, and you are constantly gonna see people fishing, hanging out right here. Now you're actually seeing some kiddos. I don't wanna show them on camera, but that bridge crosses over the bayou there and goes out to the soccer fields. And then there's another parking lot over there on the north end as well, but you can see the dad with the kiddos. Today's Labor Day. In fact, let's comment down below, what is your job profession? Happy Labor's Day. And any of you Houston locals, if somebody comments a job profession and you know anything about it, help them out when moving here. So this is where you're gonna see the jet skis, the fishing boats. In fact, here comes homeboy right now with his fishing boat. It's a good day to go fishing, JoJo.
That's it, man. Bright right here. We had a little sprinkle today.
Now you need to get your Kingwood sticker so we don't go to jail.
That's right, that's right. Well, here's, again, there's one of the little pocket parks, many throughout Kingwood, and it's all shaded. So even with this extreme heat, at least there's the trees that shade the parks.
Yep. The cool part about Lake Houston, you can go in October and it's still plenty warm. So it's a really cool lake, and that, you know, coming from North Idaho, I'm a Northwest kid, to have the trees, have the lakes, have the fishing, have all the sports in that tight-knit community. It's just really perfect for what my family enjoys. But now what I want to do is show you the new school, because yes, Kingwood was developed in the 70s, so it seems as if a lot of the things are dated, but check out this brand new middle school. It is amazing.
All right, so it looks like we're just in a normal neighborhood, and we're gonna get you in one in just a second, but we had to stop here and show you what's up.
So what happened here, JoJo? This place is unbelievable.
What happened here is they had one of the original schools over here. This is Kingwood Middle School, Jackson. And this school, this is the first year they just opened the doors to this facility. Right here, it rivals, it looks like a college campus. So there's 3 middle schools out here in Kingwood. You have one in the very back, and then you have one in the middle, and then you have Kingwood Middle, which is not the middle, but middle school. So check it out. It's state of the art, everything new, down to the concrete, the building, everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is one that's zoned to K Park High School. A lot of people love this particular school. They were waiting for it to be open. And I'll tell you the benefits of each school. This one's new. The one in the back is super popular. And then the middle school that's right in the middle of Kingwood, it steps up to a Spanish immersion program as well.
Now, before we get you into this $300,000 home, would you do me a favor and just hit that like button if you are thinking about moving to Houston? I just love seeing the tally of how many people are actually thinking about moving here. And then you can comment down below, like I mentioned at the dock, what job are you coming for, or what job, so that we can get local people to maybe give you some insight on areas that would possibly be the best for you to live in. So now what we'll do, we're going to show you what just over $300,000 can get you. If you put a little sweat equity into this, it would really be popping here in Kingwood. So let's go check that out.
All right, here we are in the heart of Kingwood. Again, Wanted to show you a house that's super affordable, good entry level to mid-tier in Kingwood to give a lot of personality. As you'll see and walk in, it's outdated. However, it has a lot of personality and you can do your own personal touches. And what I will tell you about this, Jackson, this particular home listed at $300,000 and $1,500. You heard
Wait,
that
300 and 1,500 or 315?
No, 315. So $315,000. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,700 square feet. And what I will share with you is we had a client actually just move a few blocks up the street that closed, I believe, last month or about 3 weeks ago, as a matter of fact. And this same exact neighborhood, we took them around. I showed them several different houses in the front and back of Kingwood, remodeled homes. And I'll tell you something, when we finally went to this home, they fell in love with it. They narrowed it down to their top 2. That house ended up being a winner. Was it super updated? It wasn't. It just had so much character. They loved the way it felt around the neighborhood and everything else. And so you know who you are. Shout out to you. You ran through that backyard. We called you the Sonic. It was a Sonic run.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take you in, again, just over $300,000 listed. It's gonna be vacant, but as you can see behind me, you have the newest school in Kingwood. So again, you come in, do your personal touches, your equity is gonna go through the roof. But some of these houses, man, it's just people have lived in them since conception.
Yep.
So.
And we just had another team member last week close on a house out in this area, and they just loved it. They really fall in love with the area and the way, the vibe that Kingwood has. So in here, you'll see a very traditional floor plan in here. This is gonna be super popular back in the days, you know, the wet bars. A lot of people use them as coffee. A lot of people just get rid of them.
Yep.
So we've done a lot of houses where, you know, we've even taken these out, raised the cabinets, put the quartz countertops, lot to do in here.
All right, so for some people, this is just not up to date. They do want the new construction turnkey, but there is a lot of you that want resale and you've done some of these things. I look at this house, easy money. I've actually gutted and flipped, you know, multiple properties, and a lot of this stuff that you see built around here is just that. It's called soffit. It's a built-in, so it is just 2x4 framing. You can tear all of that stuff out. It's not gonna be structural, and then you have this massive open floor plan. So the good news about one of these style homes that isn't so big and 4,000 square feet is that you can actually get away with, you know, a $10,000 kitchen right in here and get brand new countertops, cooktops, new appliances, and all new flooring throughout right here. And you're going to have a brand new modern house. So with these kind of smaller floor plans in here, it just makes it easier to make it. And then if you see, I mean, if you go wall to wall right here is 30 plus feet, you would have this massive open area. The one thing I will notice, I'm not even gonna open it, but again, Kingwood specializes, you have these massive lots. So if you ever wanted to put a pool in, tons of room, but you have a huge backyard. And then another thing that's popular is the detached garage. So you're gonna see a lot of people cooking over there, have their tables, but hanging out in the garage too. So we'll show you around. The master's probably on the main level, Joe.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that you're able to do your own personal touches, what keeps you from competing with people in the market as, you know, it gets pretty competitive. Also, another note is this isn't the only home. There's other homes out here. As a matter of fact, there's one down the street on a single level, open living, super big kitchen and everything. And I'll tell you, there's some good pluses to look at. For example, the other one down the street, you can go in and do a little bit of personalization and you have equity in the home.
And again, master bedroom is huge.
This is a really big master bedroom. What I like about it, Jackson, with the heat that we have, you don't have a ton, you got enough light to just have natural light, but it's not beaming through here.
Yep. Got a smaller little master, got the shower.
Yep.
But it does what you need. Some people aren't all into the massive spaces, but it does give you extra room if you want to knock some walls out in there, get it bigger.
You want to take a look at what the second floor looks like?
So let's head upstairs. So that's another thing about Kingwood too, is the resale around here, you know, it flies off the shelf, especially if it is updated. So if this is something, hey, we just want to, you know, be in this house the next 5 years, 7 years, and either upgrade or downgrade, you put in that equity, you're gonna sell these things really fast. So got some extra bedrooms up here.
Yeah, it's super popular, in demand area. Even at the height of during COVID, when we had, you know, the market just took off, appreciation was like crazy. We're going to see that again too through here. It just continues to stay very in demand.
Yep. So you got a couple big bedrooms up here. Again, they're oversized. They're not small. There isn't going to be any media room or nothing up here, but you do get 3 full big-sized bedrooms, a couple different bathrooms as well. This one, it's got the big walk-in closet, lime green. that you would keep, as long as you keep those drapes as well. Again, we've been showcasing a lot of new construction neighborhoods, and when you get into that $300,000 range, you're either gonna have to go way, way, way outside of Houston, or you're gonna have that sub 2,000 square foot home, so it'll be a lot smaller. So here you have the opportunity again to get a multi-level, 4-bedroom, almost 3,000 square foot home in a top community, with a big lot and a dual, detached garage there right at that $300,000 level. Now these $300,000 homes, obviously this can be competitive. We already learned that the pendings are very strong. This market is strong. Jojo, what do you do in these situations when you have a house with a pool right in that bread and butter zone of that 300, 400,000? How do you actually get these clients into these homes?
We have negotiated some great prices, which some of the inventory out there allows us to go in and negotiate. And even with our team's experience, we're able to really have that rapport and be able to come in and negotiate really well for the client. However, there has been some properties too that have pools, and the best part of Kingwood that's been super competitive the minute they listed the property, and it took extreme skill for us to go in there and compete with it. We did have to go over asking price, but it really takes more than that to give the listing agent and the sellers confidence in knowing that we can perform. More importantly, that our buyer will give them some kind of certainty.
If you know my Jojo, he loves his burgers. So what we're gonna do is go into the old country club here. My treat, I'm buying Jojo that burger because he works so hard for you guys.
The country club's got the best burgers.
Best burgers. So it's Labor Day, as we've mentioned a few times. There's the club, the workout facility. That's where I go every morning. And behind there's a massive pool, slides. They're having a huge event right now. They got events almost every weekend, it seems like here, and then they got all the tennis courts, pickleball courts. So all the golf courses are here. But what we're gonna do is go in and grab Jojo a burger, and then
let's go.
We're gonna go to the bridge after that and talk about the flooding issues, or lack thereof. Jojo, what you think of my burger over here, dog?
This is the supreme burger right here.
Anybody looking to move to Kingwood, we'll bring you here.
That's right.
Now that Jojo got his burger, he's feeling happy. We can get him out onto the bridge and talk about the flooding here in Kingwood. So before we jump into that, I gotta show you as well. He's gonna bring up the flood maps, but what I wanna do is just show you everything that we have talked about today. And that River Grove Park, if you notice, is right down here on the river and can feed right into the lake. Now you have Kingwood High School, which is gonna be right here. Where we just ate lunch was right here at the Kingwood Country Club. The Deerwood Club is right in over here. The other high school that we're talking about is Kingwood Park. That's gonna be up here just to the north of North Park. So your two main roads right here coming in are Kingwood Drive and North Park. And then you have one going to the north here, Ford Road. This takes you up through Porter. So that's really what Kingwood is. And the one thing you have to know is that this road right here, which is Westlake Houston, divides which high school you're going to go to. So if you really want to go to Kingwood High School, which is where my kiddos are going to be going, you have to be on the east side over here. And then everybody on the west side of Westlake Houston would be going in zone to North Park. So that is a big deciding factor. Again, when you call and reach out, we go through every ounce of these neighborhoods, whether it's here or Sugarland or Katy or Woodlands, and we let you know exactly what that area is like. So now, time to hit the old snorkel here and go check out the flood with Jojo. So here we are on the bridge. That way there is Kingwood, and we are on the San Jack River here. So typically you're gonna see a bunch of boats right here. I've been wake surfing here, jet skiing. You can actually go right up to the restaurants, to the bars over there. But what we wanted to do is talk about the flooding and just be honest with it. Jojo, tell us what happened and what's going on here.
Yeah, so we're right here on the bridge that crosses over. On the other side is a Atascocita. There's a small portion of Kingwood over there, but it's a Atascocita Humble. Over here is the heart of Kingwood. This was the point where people would come across, launch their boats during the 2017 Hurricane Harvey floods. And right here, this center over here where they have chimichurris and all the nice restaurants that we eat at locally, those were underwater and got remodeled, okay? So what happened, we were talking about it earlier, and basically what happened, it was an anomaly type thing, just a freak thing that where water just poured here, and really it wasn't even that. It was more of the Conroe Dam released water over here. So what happened, Jackson, it just kind of rose this up and it spilled over to the golf course over there in those homes over here and a lot back here, and that's where it just rose up and spilt over. So for example, right over here on this back side, I even purchased a home and remodeled it and put it back on the market during that time, someone that got flooded out. However, the majority of Kingwood, good news is, as an entirety of a whole percentage, it did not flood. But it was a very terrible thing. People were on rafts. You talked about our Louisianians came over from Cajun Navy. A lot of the community, one of the benefits that happened in this tragedy was the whole entire community gathered around and helped each other out with boats, with rafts, with clothes, with food, everything to just help everybody out and get them rescued. And then when that was all done, everybody came through and just started gutting people's houses out that did get affected. So, just helping everybody out. Community came together. It was a really awesome thing in a tragic time. But today, that's well past that time period. We haven't seen any floods. Most of Kingwood, again, it's in Zone X, just like you would see it in Katy, Sugarland, Woodlands, Conroe. You can pretty much drop a needle anywhere and it flooded somewhere. If you Google in as an amateur on Google Maps, and you scroll in, it's always those creek lines and those line of homes around there is where it flooded, and more than likely that's a 100-year floodplain or floodway.
Now here in just a second, JoJo's gonna bring up the flood zone. It's an actual map with the data that shows you where areas you may want to avoid and maybe how unlikely it is for it to happen again. So you don't want to miss that. But real quick, when we were walking away from the bridge, I was like, just talking to JoJo, I'm like, when that hurricane came, it wasn't only Kingwood that flooded. He was like, no, dude, like Katy, all that. Anyways, you just got to hear exactly what he said. And then after that, we'll go through the flood zones. So that's the one thing that we want to talk about. I have mentioned that in other videos. I purchased a house that was actually flooded and it was affected by Hurricane Harvey. Again, it came up about 10 inches into the house and then it was out within 10 hours. So for it to get to those levels again would have to be something just catastrophic, but also Conroe releasing the dam water. And so there's a dam at the south end of the lake here and that was shut. So it just created this bathtub effect. The likelihood of that happening again is not, but Harvey hits and people think there's safe areas or not, but Katy saw some flooding, right? I mean,
Katy saw some flooding. That's right on the side where Memorial was, where you saw that on the freeway.
Yep.
Small sliver of Katy, there below the 99, there was flooding out there.
So there's going to be areas again, and that's the one thing we were just talking about. You go to the gym, you go to the store, you go to the restaurants, and people talk about the flood, and it's really not a thing to them. Like, it was tragic and it affected so many people, but they're like, oh, did you flood? Oh yeah, I flooded too. And so that's the way they talk about it. But yet me, like, moving here, you moving here, it's something in your headspace of, oh my gosh, that is like, I cannot move to a flooded area. I can't buy a flooded house. It's gonna happen again. And it's just not what the locals here talk about. And but this is what he helps out with too.
I will tell you this, Jackson, I would even make light of it to say it's not a big deal. It's a big thing. People coming from out of state, and it's a natural fear. So The good news is most of our areas is in Zone X, which is least probable. And there's too many homes and too many areas for you to buy in than to have to worry about that. And all you do is people reach out to us. We show them on paper through our MLS where those flood zones are and where it happened.
That's why that number, email right there, is what you need to copy down and book your one-on-one consultation with JoJo and the team, and we will help you just like we have with hundreds of other people moving here.
Also wanted to show you real quick, as we were out on the bridge earlier, Jackson, talking about, just having a little conversation about the flood and what we see, what I've experienced being here during the flood, and then what you've heard, being away, or any consumer that hears the national news. So what we do is we just come in and we can hit a flood zone right here. And as you see, Zone X is the least probable of the flood zones. And so the majority of the area is a Zone X. So what you want to look at, where we were standing on the bridge right over here, this is where we were at standing talking about the bridge. And then there's the restaurants right there. So most of the water flowed into these neighborhoods along Kingwood Drive. It affected the HEB, the brand new HEB Center, the Kingwood High School, and then there were some sections in the back, of course. And if you see all the purple, that's the flood zone.
Now, it's been pretty cool to see so many YouTube clients around the Kingwood community that have moved here, and they're catching me at schools and grocery stores and at the country club. But this video right here is a in-depth tour of Kingwood, where I actually take my kids to the schools. You'll get to see that. I drive all the neighborhoods so you can see that. I show you the stores, the restaurants, everything about Kingwood. Go check out that video right there.